So there's a misconception that if you're single, you are incomplete, perhaps damaged, salvaged, and you won't be happy until you find your one. And that is not true. That is bullshit. It is a message that has been fed to us by media and advertising. The truth is, when you're single, you have the richest soil for growth. That's why I created this podcast. And unlike other podcasts, this one is host-driven, not guest-driven. That means I will be rotating health and wellness experts 3 times a week to give you the giant box of wellness crayons, not just the primary colors, so you can start building a meaningful life. It's time to give singlehood a cape. You are in for a treat today. I'm super excited to introduce today's host, Dr. Nina Paulinet. She sits with me on the Wonder Mind Advisory Board, and she is California-based, like I am. We're both Tupac and West Coast. She's a licensed clinical psychologist and business consultant. She's inhabited many professional roles, such as a clinical professor, author, and speaker. And she helps her community by highlighting and translating the relationship between emotional, physical, and spiritual wellness in order to explore and discover our most authentic, empowering selves. Additionally, she is a couple therapist expert and enjoys helping individuals create mindful, healthy, and playful connection. I think we need more play in our lives for sure. Her intention is to break down important wellness topics while mixing it up with her vivacious personality and spirited humor. Dr. Nina can be found on Instagram at DrNinaPolYne. And she may be spitting something on her own, or she may be bringing on a guest. Either way, you're going to love her. There's so much wisdom in not only what she says, but also I love how she presents herself. Enjoy.
What's up, everybody? This is how to achieve your goals in 2023. Edit your lifestyle, chill, and celebrate yourself. So I don't know about you, but the New Year media around gaining momentum and setting New Year's resolutions feels so anxiety-provoking to me. I often ask myself, where are the articles about self-celebration? Where is the confirmation that rest is just as important as movement? I think the tides are changing, which is encouraging. However, that's why I decided to tackle this topic today for you all. I love rest, I love chilling, and I hope there are a few of you out there that agree with me. As you can see, I'm waiting until February to even release this episode, as it's truly my belief that the first month or two of the year should really be about taking space and slowing things down to get your mind right. It's really about allowing yourself time to celebrate all that you've accomplished last year. Sometimes we scan right past our accomplishments and go right towards everything that didn't go right. What we know for sure is that honoring our accomplishments and our growth allows space for all the great things on the horizon for us. And this isn't toxic positivity by any means. It's important to honor the tough moments and the difficult emotions you experience throughout the year as well. Like I said, it's all about learning to chill and relax a bit. So now I didn't mean to refuse, I don't mean to encourage you guys to refuse to show up to work or anything like that. Most of us don't really have the luxury of chilling 24/7. However, how do we make even a little more space for ourselves in order to recharge our battery? This episode is the opposite of action-oriented, which is usually my cup of tea. I love talking about building habits. It is, in fact, achiever-oriented, even though it may not seem like it, because it's important to slow down if you want to gain momentum once again to achieve the goals that you might want to start and set for yourself. So raise your hand if you're good at slowing down and doing absolutely nothing. Well, no one can see your hand, but you can see your hand. So if you're one of those people, congratulate yourself, because that's pretty great. Maybe you want to comment below in the episode, and of course, feel free to share your tips for others. This episode is all about being thoughtful with your time and space. I'm going to share some tips on how to edit your lifestyle in order to make room for all the new goals and experiences you'd like to have this year. Today, I'm going to cover 5 tips to help you clear as much needed space as possible for your new goals and chill so you can knock them out of the park with big energy. So the outline today, in no particular order, is I'm going to talk about, the importance of clearing your physical space, welcoming the in the moment experience and embracing boredom. 3, how to be open to wonder. 4, how to edit and review your close relationships. And 5, most importantly, how to appreciate how far you've come last year. And lastly, I'll share a couple songs on every solo episode that help me get into the vibe of the topic I'm covering. So listen until the end if you're also a big music fan like me, and let me know what you think of my selections. All right, let's get started. So number 1, clear your physical space. So this is an important piece of the lifestyle edit in the new year. So there's so much research, especially around neuroscience, that shows that, if we have a clean, clear space, we are definitely less distracted. You might even notice that for yourself. We're less irritable. We're definitely more productive. And we're just more able to process information when our home is not cluttered. You probably, notice this in your own physical space, whether it's, for example, your bedroom. When your bed is made, your room is clean, and you have fresh sheets on the bed, it just makes you feel so relaxed. Another piece of the lifestyle edit that has to do with your physical space is organizing with intention. For example, where are your checks? Are they in the junk drawer? What is your money doing for you? And how can you have more gratitude around it? So where do you keep your bank notifications? So organizing with purpose is important. It shows what you value, what you find important. And maybe it's not finances for you. Maybe it's something else, but how do you honor that space and make room for it? So for me, my example is my catch-all chair with random things on it, like washed and folded clothes that I just, for some reason, didn't have the energy to actually put away. When I clear it, I can use it for what it's meant for, which is my comfy reading chair before bedtime. And when it's crowded with clothes, I can't really do that. So this is something that I like to revisit very often. I like to go with the cycle of rest and revise. So just repeating that cycle, rest and revise, rest and revise. Put one thing away per day, right? The momentum will be energizing and you won't feel as overly taxed when doing it. So rest. And then when you have the energy, revise your space. For some people, they like to include maybe adding more plants to your home, bringing nature indoors is a way to kind of bring you peace and serenity. So I'm going to be coming out with an episode in March with a dear friend, Dr. Taylor, who's going to speak with me about interior design and the relationship to mental health and burnout. So if you want a deeper dive into editing your physical space, definitely stay tuned and we'll have a whole new episode on that. But let's move on to number 2. So for number 2, welcome the boredom with open arms and be in the moment. This is the most important tip in my opinion. So this is the focus of the being instead of the doing. If this is tough for you, you've just identified yourself as a human. Most likely you were conditioned to do in order to be loved and appreciated. So maybe sitting down and resting makes you feel like you're not good enough. If that's the case, honor that first and foremost and give yourself some grace because we all feel this way. A great option in that case, if you feel like taking space and being in the moment is difficult for you, is to get outdoors in nature. If it's cold where you live, just bundle up, right? It's worth it. There's so much science behind the healing power of nature. Looking around a serene environment will help you get out of your head and those racing thoughts and back into the body. Take some time to lay under a tree, stare at the sky. In that moment, you can kind of get clear about what does my body need? Maybe it's some breath work. Maybe it's some meditation that might assist you in this. But it's really about awareness of what comes up and not judging it. If some feelings are difficult to move through, working through with a therapist can really help you release some of those stuck emotions so that you can clear space for the new year. I don't remember who said this quote, but feel it to heal it. I know I didn't make it up, but somebody did. This disconnect, especially from what we do and who we are, just kind of tapping in to the body, can really help us listen more intently to what our needs are. And notice that when you clear space in the mind and in your surroundings, how much more you get to really know yourself, and also how creativity emerges from that space. Maybe you write down any ideas that spontaneously arrive. You can decide later whether or not you want to act on them, but just write them down. You might find that you have more direction on how you want to show up in the year ahead. Number 3, be open to wonder. I love this one. So when you only guide your life toward one direction, it keeps you stuck. We just aren't one thing and that's it, right? We're lots of different things. We have many different identities that we hold dear to us. Be open to possibility. Maybe ask yourself, I wonder what might light me up today. Maybe you decide to dedicate a few hours on a Saturday to waking up and just seeing where the day takes you with total detachment to the outcome. Do what lights you up, and that may change day to day. Try, if you can, not to put yourself in a box. I even think about my own career trajectory. I have so many different interests and subjects that I've mastered or felt really interested over the course of my life, just because I've had an interest in the topic. Even my interests change from day to day. I think even during the pandemic, I got super into astrology and I literally bought all of these books and have listened to, at this point, dozens of podcasts in order to learn. I can now read I could read my own birth chart from top to bottom, and it's just out of pure interest and enjoyment. I also think about my exploration of the activities I used to like as a kid. So I used to really love swimming as a kid, and I always felt like so grounded in the water and so connected to the earth. And now I'm back at it and I really enjoy it. So maybe think about what are the things that you used to like to do as a kid, and maybe you open yourself to wonder, right? Wondering what that might look like. And maybe you decide you want to take a pottery class, but being open to wonder is really the first step. You can have multiple interests. I think that's the big key here, that, being open to wonder will help you discover things about yourself that maybe you were conditioned not to like or discouraged to pursue. Envision what kind of world you want to create. And that could be exploring some of your core values. I know we hear that a lot. You can research value list online and select the ones that really move you or speak to you. And that will help us navigate the world in a way that feels authentic to us. And especially when we're open to wonder, we want to catch any negative thoughts that come up for us, because they certainly will come up in this practice. We all have them. So just recognizing that they're happening without judgment and bringing yourself back to the present moment in whatever way suits you. All right, are we ready for number 4? Number 4 is edit and review your close relationships. So who do you feel good around? Who makes you feel expansive? Who makes you laugh? Who's rooting for you? Who welcomes the new elevated version of you with open arms? Who do you trust? Who respects your boundaries? You can feel the difference in your body. I'm sure someone came to mind as I asked you those questions. Just lean into that. The new year is a great time to set boundaries and make decisions about what steps you want to take with the individuals that make you feel emotionally unsafe. So give yourself permission to make these edits. Just because you've known someone since you were 5 does not mean that you have to carry that relationship into this next year. Nothing is ever personal, right? So, meaning you're not the perfect one and they're not the villain. Everyone teaches us something about ourselves, and we can be thankful for that. If you do tend to take things personally, that's okay. Give yourself some grace. Maybe working on self-forgiveness could be helpful, and also taking your power back, right? So it may take a while for you to get there, and that's okay. It's a process and definitely worth the time to explore. But let's definitely normalize extricating ourselves from environments and interactions where we leave with emotional cuts and bruises. You deserve peace in your energetic space. And again, this space will lead to more direct path toward achieving your goals. So the action step here, which in my opinion is still very chill because you can do it in your favorite chair or in bed. Maybe take a pen and paper out, play some binaural beats. It's my favorite journaling music. And you can search that playlist on Spotify if you have it. It'll just keep you relaxed as you write down all your close relationships and really start to evaluate, when you're grounded, how you want to edit your relationships so that you can show up as your best self in 2023. Also, you can write down the relationships that helped you feel safe and honored. This is just as important. Sometimes we tend to scan for all the bad when, in actuality, some people may have pleasantly surprised you in how they showed up for you last year. Maybe they showed up in really meaningful ways to you. So also definitely journal about that as well. Okay, last and final, number 5, appreciate how far you've come. Many of us can find ourselves judging where we are in the present moment and comparing it to where we want to go in the future, which keeps us stuck in this cycle of perfectionism, of always feeling like we're not good enough until we reach the next step. So my tip is to look and review your life. My tip for this is to review your life backwards, not forwards. So look where you are right now and where you were a year ago. It's a practice because we are wired to do the opposite. Maybe it could help to journal while you reflect. So one of my favorite iFit is an exercise app. One of my favorite trainers is Knox Robinson. I think he's at First Run on Instagram. He's such a brilliant coach and also just an incredible writer. He's very poetic, very inspiring. He talks about how the cool down recovery is just as important as the run. It's your time to celebrate what you've accomplished when you're in recovery or in that cool down. So you're not thinking about your next run during the cool down, right? So you're thinking about how far you've come, all the training you've completed to get there. And the same is with life, right? So hopefully year round, you're able to celebrate yourself. And if you're doing that already, kudos to you, because that gives our brains great feedback and encouragement to keep going towards what matters to us. But if you've been super busy and unable to focus on the wins, it's not too late. Now is the perfect time to slow down and appreciate your trajectory last year and how resilient you are. The new year provides great timing to really absorb everything we're proud of. So maybe that means closing your eyes and taking yourself back to that moment. Embrace it and live in that feeling. Maybe you take notice of how it feels in your body. Or maybe you do a spontaneous self-congratulatory speech in the mirror or in front of your pet if you have one, or a trusted friend. So important for us to congratulate ourselves for how resilient we are and how much we've been through. So clearing space in the new year means that you have lots of room for the new, upgraded version of yourself. Your current version of you is already fire. It reminds me of that YouTube clip from, I think, Lady Gaga from her Hollywood Reporter interview that went viral. It's that one where she says, talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, never the same, totally unique. Every time I watch that clip, first of all, I laugh because it's hilarious. And also, I feel encouraged. It evokes so much confidence and celebration. Also, I really love the Snoop Dogg speech from his Walk of Fame congratulatory event. I think he says, I want to thank me for believing in me. So channel that energy for yourself. Thank yourself. You absolutely deserve it. And also think about if you actually made room for the upgrade that you're looking for in 2023. So even your cell phone stops working every once in a while in order to upgrade. So why not allow ourselves the time and space to do the same? We are human after all. We deserve a break. We deserve rest. So that's all the tips that I have for you guys. And I know that some of you are tuning in because you want to hear my song suggestions to accompany this episode. So the time is upon us. Here are the 5 songs I'll suggest you jam to when you have some chill rest time. The first is the Affirmation song by Doggyland. So I've already mentioned Snoop Dogg twice, so I'm sure you can suspect that I'm a big fan. I just think, he's evolved in so many awesome ways, such a great entrepreneur. And I really like this new thing he's doing for kids. And honestly, like this song slaps even for adults. So, hey, listen to it if you haven't heard it, maybe before work, so that can encourage you. I also love to throw it back. So the Pointer Sisters, I'm so excited. Such a good song, such good energy. I'm also a really big fan of Kid Cudi. He's done so many amazing things for the mental health community. Pursuit of Happiness is a song that I'd suggest from him. And if you're feeling a little saucy, maybe the remixed version. I also love Vivir, mi vida by Marc Anthony. Such a good celebratory song. And the last recommendation is Age of Worry, which was originally written by John Mayer, but the one that I really love is by Yebba. She's such a talented vocalist. Actually, if you haven't seen her NPR Tiny Desk concert, this is a must listen. Definitely check it out. Big fan of NPR Tiny Desk. She has a song called Age of Worry. It's live at Electric Lady. I guess that's the studio she recorded it in. And she is accompanied by Questlove from The Roots. He's the drummer in the song. So we all love The Roots. So that is one that I think captures anxiety that we all feel, especially coming into a new year, and how to just come back to yourself, knowing that you're just human like everyone else. And how can you be in the moment? So I'll put these songs in the show notes in case you want to listen. Don't at me if you're not a fan of these artists. These are just my takes, but of course, I'd love to hear yours. So send me a DM, let me know. My intention for how I'd like to show up in 2023 is I deserve rest, peace, and ease, and I will protect it at all costs. So first of all, protect at all costs kind of reminds me of a Robert De Niro or Al Pacino film, but in this case, maybe the cost is other people's hurt feelings, rejection, disapproval, which is, of course, their own internal work that they are responsible for in this human journey. So if this intention resonates with you, I'm more than happy to share it with you. So grateful for every single listener in regard to today's episode. We are in this together. I love to connect with all of you on social. You can find me at Dr. Nina Paulinet on Instagram. I will place my handle in the show notes as well. Remember, this is not therapy or medical advice, but I hope that you found some nuggets of wisdom that might be helpful on your journey toward your goals this year. I also have some really incredible episodes coming for you in the next couple of months with some of my favorite people. So look out for some dynamic conversations. I'll be sure to update you on IG when they're live, but just wishing you lots of super hard chill time in the next coming weeks. You deserve it. You deserve rest. You deserve celebration. So let's all keep inspiring each other to go after our dreams. Much love, and until next time.
I hope that episode was helpful. Hey, listen, if you want to share your singlehood journey, if you've gone somewhere and come back, if you have revelations and wisdom, please share your story. It's going to help other people. Nothing makes us feel more connected than hearing other people's stories. So just send me the audio of your story, and you could just record it directly from your phone and email it to theangrytherapist@gmail.com. Also, if you want our Single on Purpose newsletter, go to singleonpurpose.life. That's singleonpurpose.life. You will get tools and articles and other people's stories, and also Zoom links to private gathers. So if you want to join our community, go to singleonpurpose.life. Thank you for listening. Be well. We hope you tell a friend. Hey, before you go, I want to invite you to the Single on Purpose private community online. It's off of social media. No ads, no algorithms. We got forums, we got live groups, we got webinars, and we have social hangs. We also have offline in-person hangs happening soon. So check us out. Go to singleonpurpose.life. That's singleonpurpose.life, and I will see you inside.